Most people spend their entire lives working for money. But Frank Bourassa decided it was faster just to print it. He manufactured $250 million in a secret garage, and his fake bills were so perfect they fooled the best agents in the world. This is the biggest financial hack in history. The ending will shock you. Frank was an entrepreneur from a small city in Canada called Trois-Rivières, who always looked for gaps in the system. He started his career by selling stolen clothes in high school because he realized the most money was in finding the customers. Later, he ran a successful factory that made brake parts for cars. He was a very hard worker who spent 20 hours every day at his business until his body finally gave up. He woke up one morning shaking and sweating from a massive panic attack and realized that working himself to death for a paycheck was a broken system. He decided he would stop making products and start making the money itself. He spent 18 months researching how to hack the United States dollar. He chose the $20 bill because it's the workhorse of the global economy. While people check $100 bills very closely, almost no one looks at a $20 bill twice. Frank used the official website of the Secret Service to study every tiny detail of the currency. He treated their security guides like an instruction manual for his own factory. He learned that to fool the world, he needed to replicate the paper and the ink and the watermarks exactly so that the bills would feel real to the touch. The hardest part of the plan was finding the special paper that the government keeps secret. Real US bills are not made of wood, but a mix of cotton and linen. Frank created a fake company called Keystone Investment and Trading and called dozens of paper mills in Europe. He told a mill in Germany that he needed high-quality paper to print private investment bonds for his wealthy clients. He gave them the exact recipe for the US dollar and even asked them to include an Andrew Jackson watermark. The mill believed his story and shipped enough paper to print $250 million to a port in Montreal. With the paper secured, Frank spent over $300,000 to set up his illegal print shop. He bought a massive Heidelberg offset printing press and rented a garage on a quiet farm. He and a small crew worked 10 hours every night for 5 months. They used special ink from China that changed color when the bill was tilted. They printed 12 million bills that weighed over 12,000 kilograms, which is the same as 6 large trucks. The quality was so high that Frank would mix his fakes with real money, and his own workers couldn't tell which ones were fake. He acted like a wholesaler for criminal groups and sold his bills for 30% of their value. If a gang wanted $1,000 in fake cash, they paid Frank $300 in real money. He told his buyers to sell the cash in Europe and Asia first to keep the bills far away from American banks. This plan allowed him to flood the global market with his fakes while he sat safely in Canada. The perfect system only failed because of a mistake by one of his customers. In 2012, a group of police officers started a mission called Project Cranium to catch a thief named Eric. Unbeknownst to Frank, this customer was trying to sell the fake bills to an undercover officer. The police used Eric to find the trail that led straight to the house in Trois-Rivières. They raided the property and found $1 million in fake bills along with the metal printing plates. Frank was arrested and faced 60 years in a United States prison. Frank knew he was in trouble, but he had one final card to play. The police had only found a tiny bit of the money he'd printed, and he still had $200 million hidden in a truck at a hotel parking lot. He told the Canadian government that they could have the entire stash if they refused to send him to the United States. The authorities realized that getting $200 million of perfect fakes off the streets was more important than a long prison sentence. They took the deal, and Frank served only 6 weeks in jail and paid a small fine. Today, Frank Bourassa is a free man and a respected authority on security. He runs a consulting company that helps governments and large businesses protect their products from being faked. He uses the same skills he once used to exploit the system to now help defend it. Millions of his bills might still be in circulation today because they were too good to be caught. Frank Bourassa proved that one person with a used printing press and a lot of research can challenge the most powerful currency on Earth. He walked away from a life sentence with his freedom and a new career. He remains the most successful counterfeiter in history and the man who showed the world how easy it is to manufacture trust.